Alright, so this is question number 6 on moments. This I believe will be my last question on this topic of moments, because as you would have already realized by going through the videos on question number 1 to 5, that moment is relatively a straightforward and an easy topic, right? The questions on it are relatively straightforward and easy to attempt. So here is the question. The question is not very big. It fits in one screen. And as I always suggest, please go ahead, pause the video, attempt the question yourself, and then play the video again to look at the working of it. Alright, so here we have distinguished between the moment of a force and the torque of a couple. 2-mark question. Moment of a force, force multiplied by the perpendicular distance from the pivot. Torque of a couple is one of the forces multiplied by the perpendicular distance between the forces. If you would have noticed, there were some key points here. 4 key points came out. Force, what is moment? Moment is force multiplied by perpendicular distance of F, this F, from where? The pivot. What are the key terms? Perpendicular, force, from the pivot. 3 key points, very important to include in your answer. And torque. What is torque of a couple? Torque of a couple is one of the force, not both the forces. One of the forces multiplied by perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance where? Between the forces. Between the forces. Makes sense? Let us look at the mark scheme as well. What are the key points? We didn't identify one of the force and perpendicular distance. Why we are looking for 4 or 5 key points? Because it is a 4-mark question. 4-mark question, easy to attempt and easy to score all the 4 marks. Your objective should be to score at least 100% marks on the questions which are easy and straightforward. Force multiplied by the perpendicular distance, couple or torque, magnitude of one of the force multiplied by the perpendicular distance between the force. We have to penalize, or the examiner has to penalize, if the perpendicular distance is omitted or there is omission of this term. 4-mark, looking for 4 key terms. Alright, let us understand the question B. One type of a weighing machine is known as steel yard, is illustrated in this figure that we are talking about. The 2 sliding weights can be moved independently along the rod. So where are the sliding weights? If you see, one sliding weight here which is 2.5 newtons and the other one is 12 newtons. It can be slided along this rod. With no load on the hook, the sliding weights are at 0 mark on the metal rod. The metal rod is horizontal. So when nothing is hanging, both the sliding weights are at 0 mark, so which is logical as well. A sack of flour is suspended from the hook. So now you have some weight hanging here. In order to return the metal rod to the horizontal position, the 12 Newton sliding weight is moved to 84 centimeters along the rod, and 2.5 Newton weight is moved to 72 centimeters. Calculate the weight of the sack of the flour. Now this is an easy IGCSE level question. Again, what principle you'll have to use? Clockwise moment is equal to anti-clockwise moment. So here you have anti-clockwise moment created by the bag of the flour, and what creates the clockwise moment? 1 and 2. The 2 sliding weights create 2 anti-clockwise moment. So what you have to do, you have to use some writing work here. So clockwise moment, please write in the expanded form, should be equal to anti-clockwise moment. Do not write in the short form in your notebooks. This is for my explanation purpose and to save your time that I'm writing the short form. But please do remember my strict instruction to you all, you'll write everything in full form. Right, otherwise you'll lose marks. So what is the clockwise moment? It is due to 2.5 newtons force multiplied by its distance. How much is its distance? 72 plus 12 multiplied by its distance, 84, is equal to the weight W, the weight which will be hanging here, let's call it W, multiplied by its distance, 4.8. So why are we not converting the centimeters into meters? Because it doesn't make sense. Or if you want, you can change the centimeters into meters. Why it doesn't make sense? Because you have centimeters on both sides of the equation and everything will cancel out. Even if you're changing it into meters, this thing will cancel out on both the sides, because 100 is one thing, 1 over 100, that is common on both sides of addition. You can take it as a common and it will cancel out. So converting centimeters into meters is an unnecessary work which you can avoid, but if you want to do, you can do it. Solve this equation now. This is a thing which I leave for you now to do on your calculators. Pause the screen here, solve this and see if you're getting the answer which I am going to show you in the mark scheme. 250 newtons. Are they doing the same thing? Same thing. 250 newtons or 248 newtons to be precise. 248 newtons. Even if you mention, if you 248 or 250, both are correct. If you round it up, perfectly fine. If you do not, perfectly fine. Both are correct answers. Alright. Now next part suggests why the steel yard would be imprecise when weighing objects with a weight of 25 newtons. So they are saying that there is a sliding weight now and only one sliding weight, which is just 25 newtons. Instead of having two smaller weights, which is 12 and 2.5, they are using one only, 25 newtons. So why would it be not so precise, imprecise? Why? Because then you'll have to slide it by very tiny minute length or distance every time, and reading the reading on the scale becomes difficult. It has to be slided by a very tiny bit every time, so the reading will become difficult. That's one reasoning. Another reasoning which mark scheme talks about is given here as well. See if you understand it. If you do not, please comment in the please comment in the chat box. We'll discuss about it there. So I believe that this was also a relatively easy question, and I would suggest please practice this topic and do not skip this topic, because it is a very easy and straightforward topic and very easy to score in your examinations.